All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and try and make one of the last sets or last types of Legos that we need to make. That's going to be the hinges. We're going to start with the claw side here. It's going to look like this. They're a lot like these, but we're going to go ahead and try and do our version. So to do this, we're going to start with an existing block. So let's go ahead and open up our panel. We want to find the 1x2x1 block here. Okay, let's go ahead and double click that to open. We can collapse this down. First thing we do whenever we modify anything, so we're going to go ahead and do a save as. Let's just go ahead and add a claw on here. We're going to put green or something on this just so that it doesn't overwrite my existing file. All right, the first step for this is going to be creating a midplane. I'm going to go ahead and do that here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Thank you. All right, and you can see that we've got our little plane here. This is going to be where we actually go through and create our modification. So to do that, we're going to start pretty easily. Let's actually start with projecting this line right here. You don't explicitly have to do this. It's just going to make it easier to snap the points, and you don't have to be quite as particular. So now that I've got that in there, let's go ahead and start with the actual claw portion. That really is just a circle within a circle. Most of these Lego pieces are going to be some variation of this, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and add a straight line and have it intersect with a circle. And I want to just connect to that and there as well. All right, you can see I've got some closed geometry here. It turned blue. That's great. I do want to make sure that the circle stays above the bottom of this so that it can sit flat. I can do that with a tangent constraint. So I'm going to go ahead and click that there. See it move the circle up. So that's wonderful. I don't know a lot of the dimensions here. There's going to be some guesswork, but it should be pretty easy guesswork. So the first thing we've got to do is figure out what the center of this circle should be. And with some experimentation, you'll find out pretty quickly that the claw can snap onto like the little posts in the bottom of Legos, the retention posts. And we've come up with a value for that. That's 2.4. But it's got to snap over it, so it needs to be a little bit bigger. And it turns out that a lot of those kind of Legos are 2.75. It's almost the same as the little hollow studs on the top of the cone, things like that. All right, we're going to go ahead and make the assumption then that this thing is going to be 4.8 or the diameter of a stud. In reality, it's probably not, but for our purposes, it'll work here. You can also, when you have these little claws like the Lego hand, you can actually put those on a brick. So it may actually be 4.8 now that I'm thinking about it. We do need to give this some distance from this edge of the Lego brick, and we're going to just choose 4 millimeters for this one. I think that one looks pretty good. We do need to do some stuff here. We need to create the opening. Like we need to split this ring that we've created. We're going to do that with the straight line tool here. We're just going to go through 2 edges of this guy. We don't have to be particularly precious here. If we want this to be vertical, we can use our parallel tool and we can make sure that this guy is parallel with this line, and it's going to make him snap there. We're going to go ahead and do that for this one because it will allow us to dimension it fairly easily. Then we can do stuff like move it forward a little bit, and something like here seems like it's going to be good. Let's do our put our designer hat on, and we're going to guesstimate where we're going to go. So we're going to go to this edge here. And this one is like 4.91 something. Let's just change it to 4.8. See what that looks like. I think that looks fine. Now we can break out our trim tool and clean up some of this stuff. So let's go through here and boom, and boom, and boom. Now we have our split Lego. We can go ahead and get rid of that. I don't need that either. Everything here is blacked out. So let's go ahead and finish this sketch. And now we can do the extruding part. So we're going to go to extrusion. We're actually going to change the direction to symmetric. We haven't really done that yet, but now is as good a time as any. And we're going to make this guy something like 1.2 in each direction, which will give him a total width of 2.4. I think that looks fine. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And that is our Lego claw. We'll work on the hinge part, which is going to use the exact same sketch, just in a slightly different way. in the next video.